that this game works, we're all deep sea divers that are headed down into the depths of the ocean for sunken treasure. All of these tokens that are like kind of trailing down below the submarine are worth a random number of points, but the number of pips that's on the back of them is kind of indicative to how much each of those tokens is worth. So the deeper down you go, the more valuable the treasure is that you're picking up. The caveat with us as we're deep sea diving here is that our submarine is kind of weird and we're all sharing an air supply. On your turn, the first thing that's gonna happen is the shared air supply on this submarine will decrease one space for every artifact that you currently hold. We are all competing to get the most valuable artifact. Then you will declare if you're going to keep going the direction you're currently facing or turn around. If you forget to do this before you roll dice, you keep moving the direction you were facing. So you're either deciding if you're headed down towards the bottom of the ocean or up back towards the submarine. Then you'll roll these 2 dice. These dice are not D6s, they are D3s. There are 2 1s, 2 2s, and 2 3s on these dice. So the maximum you can roll would be 6, and the lowest you can roll would be 2. Then, based on your roll, you're then going to subtract the number of artifacts you already have. So if I have 1 artifact, that becomes a 2. I move that many spaces down into the depths. On the space that I land on, I have the option to pick up that artifact. If I do that, I slide it out of the line and swap in a blank token. I do not look at this artifact that I'm picking up. I just slide it over on the table in front of me. If you land on another space later on, you have the option to either just pick up another artifact or you can swap out artifacts. Or if you land on a blank space, you can decide, you know what, I don't want this artifact anymore. I'm going to put it back. If there's somebody else in your way as you're going past them, you just don't count that space. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4. If you manage to make it back to the submarine before the air supply hits 0, then you'll get to score points based on what's on the other side of tokens that you've taken back to the sub. But if the air supply hits 0, you finish the current turn. So whoever it reaches 0 on, they'll get one last chance to try and get back up. And then everybody who has not made it back to the sub
dies,
passes out from lack of oxygen and drops all of their artifacts, and then they get pulled back into the sub for the next voyage.
Also, if it's 0 on your turn, we all have to do the Sonic the Hedgehog like drowning like thing.
All of the artifacts that you drop get dropped into stacks of 3 to the bottom of the ocean. And that happens in reverse order from who's furthest away from the submarine to who's closest. So whoever's furthest down, their artifacts go to the bottom. And then the next person up goes past them, etc. and so forth. Then we'll set up for the next round by closing in gaps in the trail. We'll also remove blank tokens from the trail and close in those gaps. If, in the unlikely event, anybody gets down here to pick up a stack that's at the bottom, for air supply and roll purposes, the whole stack only counts as 1 artifact. For points, you score them all if you manage to get them back up to the sub.
So if you get all the way down here, you have to roll to get all the way back before the air supply runs out?
Correct. The air supply is only going to dwindle once people pick up artifacts. So the way that this game works, it's a game of hedging your bets, pressing your luck, but also managing risk.
Are we competing against each other?
We are competing against each other.
I hate it.
You know that the ones that have more pips are going to be worth more than the ones that have less.
And we're trying to be the most valuable.
We're trying to get the highest score at the end of the game. And it's 3 rounds. I will say I have played this game now 3 times, twice with 2 people, once with 4. It feels like a game that is better with more people. And also, of the 9 rounds that I've played, I've scored points on 2 of them. this is a really easy game to lose track of how quickly, like that air supply starts going down real fast. Also, since the highest number you can roll is 6, that means your average is probably 3 or 4. Once you pick up a third artifact, you're not moving very fast. Just pointing that out. Just some words of wisdom before we get started. Hey, thanks for checking out BNB Tabletop, the home of the Board and Barrel. A live show every Sunday night at 5 p.m. Pacific where me and my buddies play board games. If you haven't seen it, you're missing out. We like to keep things interactive with our Buff and Nerf house rules that allow you to influence the course of the game, and virtual bingo cards that could win you a free board game of your own. So do us a favor, do yourself a favor. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and ding that notification bell. Thanks again for stopping by. We'll see you Sunday night.